Roger Ebert died at the age of 70 of thyroid cancer, and you may say, well, Ebert really doesn't have a lot to do with your segment. But he does. He was not only a really important voice in film, but also in reasoning, in thinking, in just being a logical person. If you've ever checked out his Twitter feed, it's amazingly snarky, but also filled with a lot of really great points about the Tea Party, climate change, North Korea, marriage equality. He even spoke out on an issue that is very relevant to at least me these days. He spoke to Congress about asking Bob Dole and other congressmen to stop criticizing movies they hadn't seen just to appease their base. And that video did surface on BuzzFeed. Let's take a look.
They're all opposed to movies and music which advocate violence against women, shooting cops, perpetrating a violent view of American society. I think the problem with just saying that is you're making an error that no journalism student in college or in high school will be allowed to get away with, and that is you're confusing the inventory with the analysis. To say that a movie or a song contains something is not to make a meaningful statement about it, except simply to say that that is a factual element, that is what it contains. I think you have to look a little further into tone, mood, message, purpose, context, and origin in order to understand whether a movie or a song has a message that's worthwhile or whether it's simply negative and destructive. And that's something I think that Senator Dole and other people who have joined his cause have not been willing to do. It would seem to be very simple and obvious to say that, and this is what I call Ebert's Law, although I do not believe it's original with me. A movie is not about what it's about how it's about it. It doesn't make a movie bad because a cop gets killed in it. Maybe it makes the movie good because it shows how the cop got killed, or why the cop got killed, or maybe why cops shouldn't be killed, or maybe why this cop was a bad cop. There are all kinds of dramatic elements that get involved here, and if you simply enumerate things on a list that you found in a song or in a movie, you haven't said anything about it at all. And
I went to film school. We, read a lot of his reviews, watched a lot of his stuff. As a filmmaker, I never really liked film critics. Never super got the point of reviewing movies and giving the thumbs up.
Well, it's because sometimes there is a deeper level of analysis that not everyone can reach right away. It's like going to a lecture almost. And I think what he was saying in that clip from when he was addressing Congress, kind of calling them out, it's so applicable still when politicians are from both sides are blaming violent video games for being the cause of violence, just like violent films, violent movies. They've been fighting this battle for a long time. And he's absolutely right. It's not there's violence in this, so it must be pro-violence, and that's the only message, and that's all it's for. Absolutely not. That's what we need analysis for. That's why we need a voice like his.
And it's not that I don't like him as a film critic. I think I like Roger Ebert because, not because of his film reviews, but because of his opinions on everything else. What a smart guy, what a poignant guy he was, how people listen to him, not just about films, but about everything. And people followed his Twitter feed religiously. He gets on C-SPAN, he talks to Congress. He's a person whose opinions mattered.
Absolutely. I mean, even though he did lose his ability to use his jaw, thank goodness he was still typing along on his Twitter feed and on his blog on the Sun-Times. I wholly recommend that you check those out, even though they won't be updated anymore. The archives are definitely worthwhile. So we wanted to say thank you for being that voice, and I hope that voice or the sentiments behind it doesn't go away. We need to be reasonable, we need to be analytical, we need to understand things on more than just the surface level, and I think that's an important message. He was incredibly eloquent, and he said a lot of things better than I think many people did in this generation. Let's take a look at a few of some of his best quotes. It's human nature to look away from illness. We don't enjoy a reminder of our own fragile mortality, saying of his own disease, and there he is not hiding it at all, and I think that's really admirable. What I believe is that all clear-minded people should remain two things throughout their lifetimes: curious and teachable. Absolutely.
That's the best one to me. I think that says everything. Keeping
that open mind and not turning into your own stalwart beliefs and causes without thinking, without reason, without analysis. It's so important. It's applicable to almost anything. Life always has an unhappy ending, but you can have a lot of fun along the way, and everything doesn't have to be dripping in deep significance. Reminding us not to get our heads stuck in our own asses. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and we will see you at the movies. Roger.